Healing is the resolution. Love is the language. Healing starts with a choice to stand for unity, for compassion, for change. Across our community, every sector is stepping forward. Individuals, faith leaders, educators and educational institutions, athletes, government officials, business leaders, health professionals, law enforcement and fire service, each taking the pledge in their own way, yet united by one purpose. Because when we all choose healing, our community moves, our city breathes, and hope comes alive. Join the movement. Take the pledge at www.the411live.org. Print your pledge. Take a picture holding the I Took the Pledge and post it on your social media page with the hashtag the411live. Hashtag I dare you to heal. Now, I dare you to heal.
The 411 Live.
Where you can learn about issues that impact us every day. State of world, 411 Live.
Real people, real talk.
Made to help people in our community in every way. For your girl, 411 Live.
Today, the 411 Live podcast turns the spotlight on itself. As a matter of fact, it's part of a big movement, a movement that we really, really hope that you will join. You can become a change maker in your family, in your community. I'll tell you more about that in a moment. Hello, I'm Beverly Taylor, and this is the 411 Live, real people, real talk. Today, my guest is somebody kind of special to me. It's LaShondra Scott. She is the executive director of the 411 Live and the creator of the I Dare You to Heal movement. Welcome to you, LaShondra.
Thanks for having me.
Are you feeling a little uneasy because usually you're behind the scenes?
Yeah.
You know, you're here for every podcast, but we just don't see you. And now you're at the table.
Yeah, it's kind of, I'm a behind the scenes type of person. I
Right.
don't like to be in the spotlight. So it feels, I understand why people are nervous when they sit in this seat.
All right. Well, this is your time to shine because we're talking about something really important, and I think it is an innovative, it's a thought-provoking movement that you have started. But let's kind of reverse, go back, right? I guess about 10 years ago, you got a vision to kind of tap into it, kind of uncover the layers of human trafficking, specifically sex trafficking, and also to look at the healing process for the survivors. Where did that thought come from, and what were some of the pieces that you wanted to put in there?
So it started out, the 411 Live started out as just a TV show. And then I talked to a philanthropist, and he said, you need to turn the 411 Live into a nonprofit, because I was doing nonprofit stuff. Mm-hmm. And so when we started doing subjects, I was looking for subjects, and I was working at 1290 WMCS at the time, and we had a board meeting, and a woman by the name of Martha Love came in there, and she brought Dana World Patterson in there. And they were talking about human trafficking. And I was like, human trafficking, what is that? And so she began to explain to me. And then the host at that time was like, we looked at each other and was like, we need to do a story on this.
Right.
And so as she began to tell us about human trafficking and how, it affects how traffickers capture the young ladies and then traffic them, and she was just going deep. And so then right then and there, I began to realize that this needs to be an ongoing topic. Mm-hmm. And to further and to get deeper and deeper down into human trafficking, the different layers of it. So we did the show. We actually No, we did one show on it. And so it premiered on TV. And then they started to take that one show all around the state to show it. And so it just human trafficking kind of just hit me. So then I decided to try to do a film on it. And so at that point, I realized that when you're interviewing a survivor, you can re-traumatize them by them continuously telling their story. And so as I was interviewing this survivor, I had to have a social worker with me, because at that time I was like, if she, have an episode, I wouldn't know what to do.
Right.
And so I need a social worker there to assist me just in case she do have an episode. And she had multiple episodes during the recording. And so I had to pause and then let her, gather herself, the social worker, calmed her down, and then she continued. And that right there shaped my whole understanding about when you interview people about a subject, if it's violence or any kind of traumatic event, that you need to see where they are. Are they ready to tell the story? Are they healed yet? And so that's when I started, mental health is really important. I figured out that the stories that I was doing with the 401 Live all centered kind of around mental health. And I was just like, you know what? That has to be our underlining initiative is mental health. And so then the I Dare You to Heal movement started in 2019.
2019. Okay. Okay. So, and when you did the movement, you had different elements in it, right? You had, you wanted to do the docuseries, right? And you wanted to do some workshops with hotel operators so they could identify traffickers that might be coming into their hotels and different things. So other kind of workshops too, right?
That's when I approached you.
So I was thinking about that because we were at a training, a call center training for, with the Super Bowl, like with any spectacular sporting event that usually involves some human trafficking going on surrounding it. And this organization, Convergence Resource Center, they were preparing for that, having a call center trying to connect with survivors, and rescuing some. We did. That was successful.
Yeah.
But we ended up sitting right next to each other.
Yeah.
And you started talking to me.
Yeah. You know how you just sit and talk to yourself? You'd be like, man, I need to talk to her. I'm starting this podcast. I should ask her if she's interested. I should tell her what I'm doing. Maybe she'll be interested in being my host. And then I was like, nah, she ain't going to be interested. Ask her. And so I was just like, okay, I'm going to ask her. And then that's when I started talking to you. And that's when I started telling you about what I'm doing and my heart and where it's all at and what I'm doing with human trafficking.
I don't believe in coincidences, my motto is see God in everything. Because around that time, I was just coming out of TV business. I was working at Fox 6 for 21 years, just leaving. But right at the end, I did several stories on sex trafficking.
Wow.
And I got 2 Emmy nominations for 2 of those stories. So I was already kind of in it. And then you mentioned this. And of course, you kind of knew that I was in it because I was at that training.
Right.
But it just all fit together. Yeah. So, and here we are, 5, 6 years later? Still doing it.
Yeah.
Okay. So when we started, we did 2, maybe 3 seasons focused strictly on human trafficking. Then the pandemic hit. We opened it. We talked a lot about the pandemic. And then we were like, let's just keep it open and just talk about different subjects, interesting people, interesting events, different things that are happening. And that's kind of where we are, too. But we still go back, and occasionally we're talking about what's happening with human trafficking. So then we get to this point, this "I dare you to heal" movement. See, there are always things going on in your head, and sometimes, you start to tell me this. You know, it's just like this vision that's so big, and I'm like, okay, well, maybe we need to pull this back a little bit. But then I started thinking, and maybe, you know, I'm a Christian, so maybe it was the Holy Spirit saying, you need to shut up, because I don't know what God puts in your heart. And I don't know where he's going to take you. So it could be very big in my eyes, but it's not in his eyes, you know. So now we're at this "I Dare You to Heal" movement. When did that come? The pledge, I should say.
The pledge? Mm-hmm. Okay. Actually, we wanted to do it in 2019, but then it just wasn't the right fit there. Mm-hmm. After the pandemic, of course, we kind of put that on hold. And so God said, okay, now it's time to start it back up. And this time I want you to do this pledge. And then, so he just gave me the pledge first. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, okay. And then he started saying, okay, now you need to make a pledge for every sector of the community, because everybody needs to heal. Any place where there's people, they have wounds.
Right.
They need to heal from something, because I feel like any business that has people there, the leader could not be healed. And, you know, have you ever worked somewhere and you'd be like, man, he crazy or she crazy? You know, that's because they haven't healed, you know, and they're passing down trauma to you, and you go home, you know, you all like, oh my God, blah, blah. And then now you can pass that down to your kids, your husband.
Has a ripple effect.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And now your house is unstable because your work life is unstable. And so people don't think about that, you know. They don't think, a lot of people think, well, I'm okay, you know, but you study arguing with your spouse or your kids. That's some kind of wound there.
That's not healed.
Right. That's not healed.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people don't think of it that way.
So you have 9 pledges.
Yes.
So one's personal, and then you have it, and let's see, where did I write? So there's like faith-based leaders and institutions, educators and educational institutions, government officials, sports institutions and coaches, athletes, business leaders, health professionals, and police and fire. Mm-hmm. You know, if you're a police officer, you go to the police and fire law enforcement area, hit mm-hmm. that one, and there's your pledge.
Yep.
And then somebody in healthcare will hit that healthcare, and mm-hmm. there's their pledge.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. You want me to read a pledge?
Yeah.
Let me see. I'll do the personal pledge. So it says, I dare to look into the faces of those I do not know, different in race, faith, language, or story, and recognize the same human light that lives within us all. I am interconnected, a thread in the same sacred existence. I dare to tend the wound. When harm is done, I will stand firm for what is right without stripping away another's dignity. I will meet opposition with compassion, seeking not to destroy but to transform, turning conflict into understanding, enemies into collaborators in the work of healing. For healing and joy are essential elements of liberty and justice for all. I will love myself as a being created in the image and likeness of God. I honor my own limits and tend my own wounds, knowing that self-care is not selfish, but the wellspring from which all other loves flow. I will normalize therapy, reflection, and rest, and worship, celebrating every step I take toward wholeness. In loving myself, I become a stronger vessel for loving my neighbors. I will heal individually and with others, breaking cycles of trauma, dismantling division, and envisioning communities where all are accepted, included, and cared for. With love as my compass and healing as my work, I commit my hands, my heart, and my hope to building a world where no one stands outside the circle. In humility, in courage, and in steadfast commitment, I stand in unity, love, and justice for all. I dare you to heal. That's the
Yes.
personal pledge.
Yes.
And that's what we're asking people to take.
Yes, yes. We're asking people to take the personal pledge. One, because the whole entire movement is about first loving yourself, taking care of your mental health. That's the personal pledge. Then, love across differences. Now you're going into the community, right? And you're going to work or so. You have a difference. You're black, you're white, you're Hispanic, you know, you're LGBTQ, whatever. How about they have a difference? Their difference is different than yours. It may be a cultural difference. Is different, but we can love across differences and be united. That's the third thing. Let's promote unity instead of division, right? And so that's the whole, I would say, the overall arching movement is
Yeah.
those three things. Because first you have to take care of yourself first. And often a lot of people go and say, okay, I'm going to help other people, but you're not helping yourself. How can you help that person fully become a whole person if you're not?
If you're broken.
Right. Hurt people hurt people.
And again, I am talking with LaShondra Scott, the executive director of the 401 Live and the creator of the I Dare You to Heal movement. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we will continue our conversation.
Life's daily battles are not meant to be fought alone.
Cloud, you okay?
Because checking in on a friend can create a safe space. Reach out to a friend about their mental health. Seize the awkward. It's totally worth it.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed.
Welcome back to the 411 Live. My guest again is the incomparable LaShondra Scott. All right. So when you talk about dare, I dare you to heal. When you say dare, when you dare someone to heal, what are you daring them to confront or embrace?
So first of all, I'm daring them, I'm challenging them when I dare them to look at themselves and see if is there anything about me that I need to heal from. So in other words, them that they need to heal
Right.
from. And sometimes they be like, I'm fine, you know, but they don't understand that you, like I said earlier, you about to go home now and fight with your spouse or fight with your kids or something, or you're just coming from work and you just had a bad day. So I challenge people to look at yourself, and when you're having a conversation and you get upset with that person, what triggered that?
Yeah, yeah. And you know, I'm in that conflict resolution space because you know I'm a mediator now, and I talk to the clients about, you know, you can have those issues up top, you know, that conflict, it's up here, but then we have to look at what's down underneath. You know, there's personalities, there's unmet needs, there are childhood traumas, there, you know, all of these things. And you talk about triggers because sometimes stuff will bubble up that we thought we had dealt with years ago. You know,
Right.
that's not a problem. I dealt with that a long time ago. And then something will happen and that stuff bubbles up. And you're like, where'd that come from? Where did that come from? So yeah, I get that.
Yeah, it's a lot. And even being a business owner,
Yeah.
you know, a lot of those traumas come up. A lot of those wounds come up. You know, like me being a business owner, so I had to actually heal myself. You know, I didn't realize that I had like wounds. I didn't even know what they was called. I didn't know about the inner child. You know, when you start going through that healing process, you learn these things. And then as you heal, you can start to identify them in others. And then you know how to deal with them because of you recognizing what they're going through, and you've probably went through that and you've healed from it. And so now you know how to address them properly. Or you know how to say, okay, I'm going to talk to you later. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Or you just say, okay, I decide not to have this conversation, and then you just keep it moving.
Right.
But that's a way, that's setting your boundaries.
Yeah.
Right? And as you heal, you understand that you need to set boundaries, right? Mm-hmm. And so as a business owner, I had trust, well, I still have a little bit of trust issues.
Right.
But I understand now where that come from. And so I took that into my business, and I had to realize that I can't do this business by myself. How am I going to grow it? Mm-hmm. I have to trust people. I have to trust people with my equipment. I have to trust them, giving them a key. That was a big deal for me to give somebody a key.
Yeah.
Because you're like, oh my God, this is my stuff. I don't want nothing to happen to it. But, stuff is going to happen. In order to grow, you're going to have to trust people.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a biggie. That's a biggie for most people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that's a biggie for me as well. Mm-hmm. Because, and I always thought, I labeled it as being cautious. Being cautious. And there's nothing wrong with being cautious.
Right.
But it's like, to what degree are you extending that?
Right.
You know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So when we talk about love, courage, restoration, how does that show up on that everyday level for folks?
So love, I feel like in order to help someone, you have to love something that they're doing in order to help them, right? And so that's how you love, right? And what was the other one?
Courage.
Courage. You have to get up courage in order to help somebody, right? So that's the easy one, you know? You see them in need and you don't know that person, right? And so let's say that they are culturally different than you are, right? And you've listened to the media and all of this stuff. You have to get up the courage. First, you got to love enough to help them, right? And then you have to get up the courage to go and create the action. I call that hope in motion.
Okay.
Right?
How about restoration?
Restoration. So after you help the person, what kind of feeling do you feel? That's restoring. Like, I helped someone that day, or I'm helping someone. Right? You could have had a messed up day, and now you're helping somebody, and that just restored you. That could restore your faith. That could restore your love for one another. That could restore loving across differences because you went and helped somebody that you did not know, that's different, culturally different than you are. And so that's the whole piece right there.
There you go. Okay. So what are some of the next steps, other things that are happening? You've got a tournament coming up.
Yes.
That's going to fit in there too, right?
Yeah. So we're building the I Dare You to Heal into this showcase that we're having. So it's a basketball showcase that's going to happen next year, July 16th through the 19th. So the 16th is the kickoff event where we're going to take these athletes and we're creating the whole athlete on and off the court. We're going to teach them NIL, wealth management. We're going to teach them the mental aspect of, so basically we're daring them to heal. We're teaching them the wounds, right? We're teaching them anger management. So if a ref call the wrong call, you see a lot of athletes just go bonkers, you know. So we're teaching them how to deal with that. Also, not only the athlete, but the coach. The coach goes off too.
Absolutely.
So we need to teach them how to handle their anger in that moment. But also, there's a lot of athletes that is carrying wounds, right? So something may trigger them. They get into it with their teammates. What is it? What wound are they hitting to make you go off? So if you can learn about those wounds and know how to deal with them, then you can become a better teammate. You can become a better athlete. And coaches, if you know the wounds and you've healed yourself, now when you come in contact with these players, you know exactly how to mentor them to get better.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that very much. Okay. Now, we're getting very close to the end. We talked about the pledge. We told people where to go to our website, the411live.org, right?
Yep.
And they can look down, click on that pledge, and pick the category that they want. Personal pledge, I say do that. Sign up. Wonderful. And then if you're in a profession and you see something that's compatible, hit on that and take that one too, right?
Correct.
The 411live.org. I say it again so people will remember. So now I have some rapid fire questions for you.
Oh, I knew you was going to do that to me.
Because you're always saying, Beverly, why don't you do some rapid fire questions? Okay. So what's one word that describes the I Dare You to Heal movement?
Heal.
Heal. Okay. Healing starts with
Love.
love. Love feels like
That's a hard one. Love feels like, I would say, restoration.
restoration. Okay. What's one act of kindness you think everyone can do today?
Love across differences.
Love across differences. Okay. The 411 Live in 3 words.
Information. Healing.
Healing. Okay.
And love.
Okay. You like that love, don't you? So, LaShondra, what gives you hope?
What gives me hope is, I would say, knowing that I contain the information that will help someone else. And by me healing, I can help millions, should I say.
Okay. All right. LaShondra Scott, thank you for joining us on the 411 Live.
Thank you for having me.
It's been a pleasure. And listen, I'm very proud of you. And I love the vision that you have. And I say, just keep going, keep going.
Can I say one thing?
Very quickly.
So I wanted to talk about these signs real quick for
Okay.
businesses. So after you take the personal pledge, and if I'm around you and I get you to take the pledge, we have this sign right here that when you take the pledge, you hold this up and we take a picture with you. Then if businesses take the pledge, you get this beautiful sign to put in your storefront or hang it up somewhere in your business saying we took the sign. And basically you're getting other people to take the pledge too. And so I just wanted to say that. And we're also selling these beautiful T-shirts right here for $25. That helps us continue doing the I Dare You to Heal pledge, but also programming, going into the different sectors of the community.
Very cool. I like that you've got the QR code on there so they can just snap it. You
Yep.
put their camera up there and it takes them straight to the website, right?
Correct.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And thank you for joining us for another episode. Listen, if you are so inclined to help us, because we are a nonprofit, go to our website. And of course, go to the website to take the pledge. Very, very important. Thank you for joining us. Until next time, I'm Beverly Taylor, and this is the 411 Live. Real people, real talk. If you would like to check out past episodes, there are many ways. Go to your favorite podcast platform, follow us on Twitter and Instagram, like and watch us on Facebook, watch and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you have suggestions for future episodes, go to our website, the411live.org.